At Healthcare Partners Medical Group, our mission is to provide the highest quality of healthcare to each and every patient. With 5 locations in Pahrump, we are local doctors you know and trust. We want to thank you for choosing us. Quality care starts here.
News 46 is brought to you by Healthcare Partners. News is brought to you in part by One Nevada Credit Union, where right now you can refinance your auto loan with rates as low as 2.98% and no payments for 90 days for qualified members. Call us today for details. News is also brought to you by Hope Counseling Services, where we specialize in behavioral health, inspiring hope for a brighter tomorrow. Call 775-727-0101 for more information.
Tonight on News 46, 4 people are arrested after pawn shop investigation.
And Shelley Berkeley speaks out about education.
How to become a CASA volunteer. News 46 starts now.
You're watching KPVM News 46 with Doug Brindle and Rhonda Van Winkle. Local coverage from Deanna O'Donnell. News 46. Local coverage you can count on.
Good evening. It's Wednesday, August 29th, 2012. I'm Doug Brindle.
And I'm Rhonda Van Winkle for News 46. 4 people have been arrested on various stolen property charges and drug offenses.
38-year-old Amy Grubbs and 18-year-old Nicholas Tharp, one 15-year-old female juvenile and one 16-year-old male juvenile has been taken into custody by Nye County Sheriff's deputies following investigation which led the officers to various offenses involving stolen property. A periodic review of pawn shop records by the Nye County General Assignment Detectives revealed that on August 13th, Nicholas Tharp apparently pawned a stolen laptop. Further investigation revealed that Tharp had pawned dozens of other items. Detectives responded to a residence where they thought Tharp was living. Upon arriving, detectives conducted numerous interviews. During the course of these interviews and subsequent investigation, it was revealed that Amy Grubbs had gone with a juvenile female and a juvenile male and committed 2 different burglaries at 2 different residences. Amy Grubbs subsequently took the stolen property and gave it to Nicholas Tharp to pawn. All 4 have been charged and are being held on various offenses, some of them including stolen property, burglary, grand larceny, abuse, neglect, or endangerment of a child, obstructing a peace officer, conspiracy to commit statutory sexual seduction under the influence of a controlled substance. Upon arrival at the detention center, both Grubbs and Tharp tested presumptive positive for methamphetamine and amphetamine. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46.
A Nevada Army National Guard Chinook helicopter was destroyed in a non-hostile incident after the crew attempted to land it in eastern Afghanistan. No one on board was significantly injured. The Chinook helicopter was heavily damaged during a hard landing late Monday night in Logar Province. The crew apparently destroyed it before they were evacuated. The crew consisted of 4 Nevada Guard soldiers and 1 soldier from the Montana National Guard.
And Congresswoman Shelley Berkeley held a press conference at Great Basin College here in Pahrump this afternoon.
As you know, this week marks the first week in school, and to the relief of many parents throughout the United States of America, including here in Nevada. As students do get ready for the new year, Nevada parents and students and teachers and principals rely on the U.S. Department of Education for grants and funding and scholarships in order to ensure that our students here in Nevada have what they need to thrive and compete on the global market. Why is this important? Because children in Nevada are no longer competing with the kids from Montana or Mississippi or New York. We're competing with the Indians and children from China and other emerging economies throughout the world, and they're pouring billions of dollars into their education system. So what should Nevada parents and educators expect from their elected officials like me? They expect them to fight tooth and nail to make sure that children in Nevada have a quality education that allows them to compete in the global economy. You know, as I mentioned, was a University Community College Regent for 8 years, and of course a product of the Clark County School District. I went to junior high school and high school, and the first person in my family to go to college, and I am a proud graduate and a rebel from UNLV. In addition to cutting Pell Grants that so many youngsters depend on to get that college education, he also opposed the overhaul of the student loan system that provides tens of billions of dollars towards scholarships and a number of other education programs. I needed those student loans to get through school. I know if you talk to Governor Romney, he thinks if you want an education, all you have to do is go ask your parents for a loan. There were some of us that could have asked till the cows come home. And, that money just wouldn't have made itself available as passionate as my parents were about getting that good education. The reality is this: Nevada families and students can't afford Senator Heller's anti-education agenda. So the question is this, and I'm sure you're asking yourself the same thing: why would Senator Heller want to eliminate the Department of Education? Why would he vote time and again to undermine education for Nevada students? I'm going to tell you why, because he just doesn't get it. His chief concern is not ensuring that Nevada students and teachers and middle-class families have the resources they need to help them receive a good quality education. He thinks the big guys need our help, the ones who have preyed on working families while making record profits. Wall Street corporations, big oil companies, the giant insurance companies, they don't need our help. They're doing just fine. The kids, the students that call Nevada home and need a good education, they're the people that need our help. But what Nevada needs, in my opinion, is a senator who's willing to step up and fight for our students and our middle-class families. The issue is very personal to me. As I explained to you on a few occasions in this discussion, I am the first person in my family to go to college. If it hadn't been for an institution of higher learning close to home, I guarantee I wouldn't have been able to get that college education.
And for that full speech, you can go to KPVM's YouTube page and you'll get the whole thing.
And coming up after the break, we tell you how to become a court-appointed special advocate for children here in Pahrump.
Yes, and the latest on Hurricane Isaac when we come back. Please stay with us.
Join us at the Pahrump Nugget Hotel and Casino with the #1 gaming experience and entertainment. The Pahrump Nugget has the #1 dining experience at Stockman Steakhouse, Golden Harvest Cafe, and the Gold Miners Buffet. Come get your game on at the Pahrump Nugget Hotel and Casino.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Children's Dentistry of Pahrump, specializing in sedation dentistry, now accepting adult patients. Call now for free IV sedation with dental implant, 751-2184.
Welcome back to News 46. The hit from Hurricane Isaac is happening on a day that marks a tragic anniversary. It was exactly 7 years ago today that Hurricane Katrina made landfall. Hurricane Isaac was downgraded this afternoon to a tropical storm. The storm flooded highways and homes all over the Gulf Coast and caused numerous levee breaches. And now, 7 years after Katrina, people tend to do more to get prepared, not only residents, but also the officials.
That's a good thing. A free wellness check will be held soon at the Pahrump Senior Center.
The wellness check is the temperature, blood pressure, oxygenation rate in the blood, and blood sugar. We do it once a month at the Senior Center. The next one is September 17th from 9:30 to 11 a.m.
And these are free?
These are free, and they're open to anyone, they tell me, at the Senior Center. So if you can get to the Senior Center at 1370 West Basin Avenue, I'll be glad to check your blood pressure. And I cannot diagnose. I am not a doctor, but I can give you a general idea of whether it's too high, too low, whether or not to see the doctor right away, or whether it might be able to wait a little bit.
People of all ages?
People of all ages. That's what they tell me at the Senior Center, that yes, we can deal with anybody.
For more information on Creekside Hospice, how can people contact?
They can contact Creekside Hospice at 775-727-7000.
And you have a website?
We do, www.creeksidehospice.com.
Okay.
Some good information there.
Yeah.
As far as Hurricane Isaac, it's a good thing that it's been downgraded.
Yeah.
Some of the footage this morning was crazy, especially if you saw the Today Show.
Can you believe they stand out there and report like that? It's
no,
amazing.
I actually couldn't. I really was worried that they were going to get blown over when I was watching Al Roker and somebody from the Weather Channel. They were talking together, and it was scary.
Yeah, just 7 years ago, too, that Katrina, I remember I was working here then and just couldn't believe some of the images that came back.
And some of you may remember Rick Vale, our prior news anchor. He lived through Katrina in Florida, and it was very scary. He said that he and his mother, they were in a small enclosure, and it was the scariest thing he's ever been through. So I hope that everybody out there is okay.
All right, if you're watching, Rick, glad you made it. Anyway, stay tuned. We're going to have more local news coming up right after this break.